Well, you can't play against a team this good and turn the ball over 21 times. That was the first thing I noticed. And then the second thing, I think we missed probably 5, maybe even 7 point-blank shots right around the basket that when you're playing against an NC2A team or a former champion or defending champion, you got to make those plays. And we didn't make those plays. Now, having said that, I was very proud of the effort the guys put forth. Got off to a bad start, and I actually didn't think it was a bad start. I think they got off to a hot start, and we sort of had to get our footing. But once we did, I thought it was a pretty nice effort there. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
How do you explain all those late turnovers?
Nerves. Youth, a couple of them were freshmen, a couple of them were guys trying to make plays, and then bad decisions too. So it was a combination of those 3 things. And it's a shame because I thought we were playing so well, playing so hard, we were making them miss. We go down in transition and we turn the ball over. And a lot of them were unforced. Just trying to feed the post, we just threw it out of bounds.
Is it tough to simulate those late game scenarios? Is that something you can work
Well,
on
yeah.
in practice?
We have a way of simulating the end of games, but you can't really simulate having a bunch of fans and the dynamic of what took place out there. That's really hard to simulate. But that's hard for everybody to simulate, so that's not an excuse. I think what we have to do is be better at executing in the critical parts of the game, both offensively and defensively.
How do you go about doing it?
Well, since I can't, break out a whip or something, you just have to keep working on it. You have to work on situations. You have to reinforce the fact that it's better to get a shot than it is to make a spectacular play. You get a nice steal, you can't throw a behind-the-back pass up the court. You just hold on to it and try and get a shot. I thought every time we ran our offense, we got a decent shot at the basket. So I think those are ways of doing it. But, it just comes down to having the experience of doing some things and having them work and then doing those over again.
The last 5 losses have come by single digits. Is that just execution? Or what else is there?
Well, I don't think it's effort. I don't think it's lack of talent. So I always go back to execution. I think if you broke it down within execution, I think it's really consistency. Because if you can execute for 37 minutes, you can execute for 3 minutes. It's just being consistent enough at the end of games and at important times when the pressure's on to be able to do it.
What can you do better as a coach in those situations at the end of the game?
I've tried a lot of different things. I've tried not calling timeouts. I've tried calling timeouts. I've tried calling the actual play for them. I've tried to let them do it on their own. Short of getting out there and playing myself, it's not much more that I can do from that standpoint. So what I'm planning on doing is at practice, we just work on these end of the game situations and try and get them in similar positions, and then work on the actual execution of the situation. We do that a lot anyway, but we have to do it more. Well, our game plan was to go a little bit of all 3. And what happened was the 1-3-1 was working so well, we ended up doing that more than anything else. And then in the second half, I thought the 2-3 was working really well for us, and it puts us in a better position to rebound. So the decision wasn't based on what wasn't working, it was based on what was working. Oh my God! Perfect. He didn't miss a shot. He didn't miss a shot all night. What do you have? 2 turnovers. I mean, he just played perfectly, except for he was in foul trouble in the first half. I mean, my goodness, what would have happened if he had played the entire first half? I mean, so, but they've got a very good team, very good players. They play well together. They think they can win every game they're in. There was a sense of toughness out there.
You feel this group has the confidence down the stretch? Do they feel like they're going to win, or are these starting to mount up where they feel like it's
You know, that's interesting, Eric. When you watch these guys at practice, I have all the confidence in the world that they think they can win the games we play. And then when I watch them play, I see it. And then at the very end, something happens. So, you know, maybe I ought to rethink that. But, you know, I'm with these guys every day, and I'm watching them practice every day. They don't practice like guys who are defeated or have thrown in the towel. They don't play like that. They play hard. But subconsciously, you know, when you lose games at the very end, that might be in the back of our minds.
Offensively, at the end of the game, are you running different stuff, or are you maybe putting the ball on someone's hand and telling them to go make a play, or are you?
Yeah, well, that just depends. It depends on the situation. You know, our offense was not our problem today. I thought every time we got a shot, we got a pretty darn good shot. So when in that situation, you just run your offense until you get the shot that you want. But we do sometimes say, let's run a play for X person. And so we do a little bit of both, but it's not one or the other. It's what feels like the right thing to do at the end of the game.
So at the end of the game, were you happy with the looks you got today then and just didn't convert them? Or?
See, that's the issue. This game, we didn't get the looks because we turned the ball over. So I wasn't happy with what we got at the end of the game. You know, there were times where we stopped them, came down, and we were getting ready to do something, and we turned the ball over. So I guess the short answer is no. I wasn't happy with the looks we got, but we didn't have an opportunity to let our offense work for us because we turned the ball over with not a lot of pressure.
When you guys had the lead, you went away from the three-point shot. With Ahmad being so hot and with Roberto getting a hot hand, is it hard to say whether a three-point shot is?
So we don't say go for a three-point shot. That's not how we coach, and that's not how we play. We say run your offense until you get the shot that you want. So part of that adjustment is them playing defense, trying to keep us from making threes. So then you sort of take what the defense gets you. So it's not like we don't try to say, okay, this is three-point time. Let's try and get 5 3-pointers. It's just not how we operate. It's more of what does it feel like we can get? And for a while there, we were getting stuff right around the basket and missing it. And then we were making a couple outside shots. They make an adjustment, we're driving to the basket.
A few weeks ago, you were talking about the difference between playing to win versus playing not to lose.
Yeah.
Kind of piggybacking off of what Eric was saying down the stretch. Are you seeing that at all?
No, I thought we were actually being aggressive. We just made mistakes in this game. That's what I saw. I didn't see us being hesitant at all. I thought our guys were attacking, and then we would either miss a shot, turn the ball over, or make a shot. And we just didn't make enough of them. So I didn't see them trying to sort of, you know, with 5 minutes to go and a little bit of a lead, trying to run the clock out. That's not how we play. We were trying to do what we do, which is, you know, pretty effective, getting the ball to the basket. I just thought we didn't execute that. I know maybe I'm not using the right term with execute, but we were doing what we wanted to do. We could not make the ball go in the basket for either a reason of missing the shot or throwing the ball away.
Joe, Ahmad, and Roberto were really the only three that did much offensively. So did that make things tough at the end of the game, and were they keen on them more?
No. I think Devon had some opportunities. He just didn't make them. I thought that let me see. So, I mean, you know, that's 4 guys. That's 4 guys out of 5 you have to choose from. So, you know, it's anybody's opportunity to make a play. And I think all of them had certain opportunities at the end. I'm certain, Roberto made a couple of bad passes right there at the end. Joe made a bad, everybody contributed to the lack of execution.
Talk about Joe's role a little bit, emerging to 35 minutes a game where you talked before, he maybe targeted like 20,
28, yeah. I think he's just risen to the occasion of understanding that we need him to play more in order to be in these games. That's one thing. The other thing is, and I've talked about this a lot, when you get to be a senior and you start looking at the end of your career, you take less for granted and you appreciate the games and practices and everything about being a part of a team even more. So I think it's that combination. And then finally, he's a senior who has gotten better each year, and this is sort of the end result of putting the work in. So what you're seeing is a culmination of 3.5 years of preparing to be in the spot right now.
So Angus might be a guy that grabs some of that jersey. Joe's more quiet leader.
Well, yeah.
The guys are rallying a little bit around him.
Yeah, they are. They do rally around him, but and I absolutely love coaching this team, but we don't have the kind of guys who would grab a guy's shirt. We just don't have that. Angus is that guy, and Daniel Gomez is the other guy. So right now, we have a group of guys who are trying to pull themselves up together, which is okay. There's no quitting these guys, and they're going to have to, at some point, we all are going to have to get past this.
Has Moreland changed his offensive game a little bit? Because early in the season, he was putting up double-doubles like weekly. And now just the offensive input isn't there necessarily. He's still in a lot of boards.
Yeah, I don't think he's changed anything other than sort of fitting in where he can. I mean, we've got, Joe's sort of taken up some of the slack in the point scoring area, and then you have Ahmad and Roberto who have been pretty consistent. So it's just, I don't think he's systematically thinking, okay, I got to score less. I just think that there are other people who are doing more.
You seem like you're trying to look at the positive sides of all these things, but beneath that is, what's the level of frustration for you right now?
Well, it's frustrating because you want to win, especially when you have guys who work as hard as these guys. You want to help them win. So there's a frustration level there. But, I tell you, given how close we are, there's the light at the end of the tunnel. So there's some frustration. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to be matter of fact with you guys and try and tell you all the things that we think about. This isn't the time to go negative. I just don't think it is. If I thought they needed some negativism, I would have given it to them. I don't think that's the case. I think we are very close, and we just need to make our own breaks at the end. You can't sort of expect breaks. You have to make them with your play. Does that make sense? Okay.
Good.
You guys good?